So, after last week's mistakes were fixed, I was very keen for this week for everything to go really smoothly. And I'm very pleased to say, even if you look really closely, you won't see me make any mistakes whatsoever. So the first job this week was, with the expanded foam fully hardened, was to carve it to the shape that I wanted. This was carried out using a combination of a flat saw blade, an angle grinder, and the random orbital sander I showed you last time. As you can see, this is now nicely shaped, and you definitely shouldn't look too closely at this bit. Because I know I certainly didn't when I was doing the work. Now, as all the best engineers know, there's no greater material in this known universe than duct tape. Duct tape is particularly good for making car body shells, as whilst it will stick to pretty much anything, nothing sticks to it. So in this case, as I wanted to make a piece of fiberglass that I could later remove, it was the perfect thing to lay it over the top of. So with the surface suitably taped up, I could then lay a thin layer of fiberglass over the top of it. Having allowed the fiberglass to cure thoroughly, I was then able to easily remove it from the makeshift mould. The reason for doing this is I did not want the duct tape and the expanded foam underneath to become a permanent feature of the car. It was then a case of carrying out a simple cleanup on the remove piece before applying a thin layer of fiberglass so we could stick it back to the car. Now, an important point to note is that fiberglass actually sticks better if there is pressure applied to it. To achieve this, I used self-tapping screws to ensure that the new piece was firmly attached to the wing. The next day, having removed the wing, I was able to turn it over to see the work that would be required on the underside. Because nothing sticks to duct tape, I was able to easily remove the makeshift mould and remains of the expanded foam. Then, it was just the usual, very messy process of grinding the surface down in preparation for another layer of fiberglass. Now, while I waited for that fiberglass to cure, I was able to get back to the process of smoothing down the other wing. This involved the process of applying a very thin layer of regular filler before going over it with the orbital sander, remembering of course to stop at regular intervals using your hands to check for high and low spots. Having moved onto the inner side of the wing, I discovered that with it on the car, it was actually very difficult to get everywhere with the sander, so I simply removed the wing so I could work on it separately. Finally, I was able to tidy up the rear end of the panel so it would fit better into the rear wing. So with that all done and the right hand wing fully cured, I was able to drop it back into place and look at the impressive results where everything fit absolutely perfectly. Apart from that bit we can fix. It's not too bad. And that bit too. We need to adjust that bit too. But the rest of it, yeah, that looks pretty good. Wait, what the?
Oh, come on!